Good.
Sorry, we got new layouts to play with.
We're back on the airwaves.
So while this looks weird to you and I on the YouTube live stream, it only shows the person that's talking.
What should show you the most then?
No,
Accentuates my
that
big ass head.
there we go. Back to normal.
I think that's normal. I think that's normal.
We're done playing for now. Probably it's all the applause we get. Skippy, it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a couple weeks.
Has it?
Like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
So busy?
Very.
Good.
Tremendous.
Are we being
tremendous.
facetious?
No, not facetious at all. We
Good morning,
today.
Justin.
We've got 2 today. We've got 1 tomorrow. Yeah. Cheers.
Excellent.
To
Well, that takes care of today and tomorrow. But you said the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's fucking jump in.
I don't know what else we would do.
15th? Did we do this the 15th?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Or the 8th?
2 weeks ago. We only missed last week.
Did we talk about the barbecue beets and barley, the last one of the year?
No.
Last
one ever.
Last one ever, yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks. 2 full weeks. 3 full weeks. Anyway, yeah, so last barbecue beets and barley. Josh did his in what? September? Or not September, February? March?
February? Like
April?
June? July?
Really? I thought it was cold
No.
out.
No. Well, it might have been relatively for the month that we were in, but
Yes. Our menu. So for those don't know anything about this event, basically you just pick a sampling menu, and they give you tokens. You give them samples. That's how it works. We decided
May. We did ours in May. Sorry, May 17th.
Somewhat chilly. We decided to do tacos, street tacos, to be exact. So we did our brisket street tacos. We did pulled pork tacos, and we did pork belly tacos. Honestly, pork belly was a hit. I counted. We did a total in 3 hours of 192 tacos. We also did sides of mac and cheese and street corn, but nobody wanted those. We just did tacos. Shouldn't have done sides. But, I mean, we had a couple people come on.
Mm-hmm.
The 13th, which was a Saturday, we did our first, we'll call it vending event at like a live concert, we'll call it. Like a concert and then we were one of the food trucks there.
Okay. Like an outdoor concert?
Yeah, outdoor concert in the middle of a sunflower cornfield. 2 national recording artists, Red Farron and Graham Barham. I would say not as well known, but definitely there. A lot of people know his songs. Anyway, so we had to drop the trailer off on Friday. Luckily, it's only about 15 minutes away from the shop. Saturday, I had people work in the shop. Then we shut down, and I made 3 trips out there to make sure that we had enough food stocked. And boy, did we. We had the longest line for 3 hours straight. It was awesome.
Excellent.
Did about 4,500, somewhere around there.
It's not a bad day.
Yeah, food truck catering. I mean, the following weekend, we'll call it the 19th and 20th, we catered for a total of 600 people. That was a lot for us in our little 425 square foot little building.
It's a lot for anybody. We've done 600 in a day. We did 600 for an event out of the trailer.
Yeah, we did. All right. So it was 600 over 2 days, but it was basically like the end of Friday and then all Saturday.
Yeah.
And we get to the last event, which was a wedding. And I'm like, I'm just going to bring, typically for a drop off, I'll just put Cambros in the back of the truck and just load them up and go.
Mm-hmm.
I was using the trailer all day. So I'm like, let's just load the trailer up and just go. So we did, and should have looked at better because it was down a dirt road. I'm going to start charging more when shit's down a dirt road. And of course, low-lying branches. So I got scrapes up down the side of the trailer now. And then we get there, and we're starting to set up food and realize there's no plates or silverware. So we're asking, hey, are we setting up at the right spot? Like, is this the table that you want? Whatever. Well, yeah, they you didn't bring silverware or plates or napkins. I said, well, sure, we weren't asked to. So they had to go to Meyer, 15 minutes away, and they got, instead of getting 10 or 12-inch plates for 2 meats and 3 sides,
Like little 6 inchers.
they got 8-inch plates, 8 inch. They had ribs, pulled pork, and like green beans, pit beans, and mac and cheese. And this was the most weirdest wedding I had ever seen in my lifetime. Nice venue. Definitely a lot of farm animals. When it says it's a barn wedding, I mean, chickens roaming the barn, goats and horses and such.
Oh
Anyway,
my.
we were asked. So the wedding party was introduced without the bride and groom. So the wedding party ate, and then me and my helper at the time, were asked to bring plates of food to the bride and groom in their own suite so they can enjoy their own meal and then be introduced later.
Interesting. It's a great idea.
Anyway,
It
so
is. I wish at my first we would have ate somewhere separately and then come out to join the party.
why? So you can have your
So we
honeymoon
could
early?
actually no, so we could actually eat.
No,
We
and they
didn't eat.
were. We walked in
Yeah.
early. We walked in early into the bridal suite or whatever it's called, and there was a lot. It was a lot of chaos in there because they were trying to describe how the DJ, which was a friend of theirs, was going to introduce the wedding party. Um, but anyway, we dropped and left, and I get a text from them the next day. He said, "Dude, you left out quick. We didn't have a chance to give you your tip." And I'm like, "It was already part of your invoice. We're good." He's like,
Looks like you were already given the tip.
he's like,
Didn't want to interrupt.
well, so they told me that she was with child, so that's why they were one of the reasons she was a little wasn't eating
Shotgun
all the
wedding.
food was she was with child because she said absolutely no beans, and so I don't know.
Thinners.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's like, we didn't give you your tip. I said the tip was already included in the invoice. Everything's good. He's like, fuck it, I wanted to give you one anyway. It wasn't enough. I said, I appreciate it. Write me a review on Google or whatever. And they did. Like 5 seconds later, there's a 5-star review on Google. I'm like, all right.
Cool. I saw a topic conversation about tips on like doing mandatory tips included in invoices
Yeah.
and how you can't technically call it a tip, but they have to be classified as service charge.
Well, so when you do it in Square, they're all under service charges, but you're not. It just depends on what you label it. Yeah. So here's the thing.
Tips aren't mandatory.
Well, and some people are like that. We can have a conversation about tips, but
no, I just saw a conversation somewhere else.
So
that
what's
technically you're not
the
supposed to label
difference? What's the difference when you go to a restaurant and it says parties of 10 or more, 20% gratuity added to the final bill?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw. I'm not saying that I agree with it or
let me
not.
ask you this. If you go to a place like that, right? So you go to this nice place and there's 10, 15 people in your party, and then you see something that says, parties of 10 or more, 20% gratuity. You know that it's automatic. You know that it's there. Do you go back no matter how good the food is because it's not something that you believe in?
That doesn't bother me. Them adding on a mandatory, I've added on top of it because a lot of times it's not 20%, it's 10% or whatever.
Yeah, it's like 10, 15 something.
So I'll go in and add an additional tip. No, it doesn't bother me. And a lot of times I think, God, these people are fucking themselves because people see that they're just going to sign it without even really looking. When a lot of times a party that big, generally speaking, they're going to tip.
Should, absolutely.
I mean, most people in general, and I'm talking generals, but yeah, I mean, whatever. Our tips are up this year, 15%, our credit card tips.
Really? Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. I don't disagree with it or agree with it. I don't feel like charging a tip in the invoice, especially before service, is where I have the problem. It is months sometimes when they pay the invoice and you're getting a gratuity on something that hasn't even come close to happening yet. That's where I find it's a little weird. Sure, we don't get a lot of tips on catering stuff. That's fine. A lot of times, especially if we have a busy catering week, I'll add in little bonuses for the guys at work.
So you have people on your staff. I'm trying to work this out because obviously both of us are going to, I mean, I have a restaurant now, but you're going to have one soon. And you basically have three different locations. You got the food truck, you got catering, you got restaurant, right? Are you going to have your own catering like team?
Staff, I think so. That's the way I'm leaning.
Would would you pay them different?
Of course. I don't have a
Just
flat rate that I pay everybody.
because I
You
know
know,
you probably have because you have such a huge metropolitan area that you cover that you have people that will drive. I mean, I met your guys in Jackson a couple weeks ago, for a catering thing. I was just
someone just reached out to us at we did an ad, Facebook ad for Christmas events and stuff.
yeah,
Somebody reached out to me in Port Huron. Said, "Do you service Port Huron?" That was the first question. I said, "Absolutely, we can drive to Port Huron. Would you be interested in donating food for this fundraiser?" Fuck no. If they were closer, 100% it would be a consideration. But we get no value out of it. No real value out of it.
there's no.
Yeah.
So, do you think these? You probably haven't even thought about it. Do you think these guys are paid or would be paid hourly, and then assuming tips don't happen, they're paid bonuses for travel, or
Yeah. Yeah. Of
okay?
course, they wouldn't be
I've always had
traveling.
a hard time
Most of
like,
them would be traveling on their own. By spring, we'll have a second vehicle for catering stuff.
yeah, that's
So
what
we're
I'm.
replacing the pickup truck next spring. We're not getting rid of the one we have, but it'll be an additional vehicle. Trying to get away from people driving personal vehicles as much as possible.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
looking at
hopefully,
a delivery van of some sort, or like a little
and that'll be
transit
the
van
next
or
step.
something like that.
Want
'Cause I
something,
think,
and then something we can get a cohesive brand going, you know,
yeah,
where stuff will start to get decaled and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so really, I mean, since we'll have three different locations, you can set up, and let's say Caleb, who typically is working on the food truck, is going to go do catering events. So when he punches in for the day, he has to select his location
correct,
properly. And we have to do that because of the way the tips work. So we don't want somebody doing catering for the whole day type of thing. They're doing a couple of catering events and they're collecting a portion of the tips from the restaurant and the food truck.
correct. Yeah, I agree with that for
So
sure.
so each segment will have their own pool of tips that they'll pull from.
When you send out an invoice, do you check the is tipping okay?
Yep, it's on there.
So I guess if it goes in there, so my question to that then would be if it goes in there and let's say they pay it ahead of time, is it if
It
nobody's
requires some work on my point.
I was gonna say if nobody's clocked in during that,
Then it just goes into the bank account. So it goes to owner. But when you run payroll, it'll
yeah,
say there's unclaimed tips for this period. And you can see what they were.
gotcha.
But typically, so we've had it where, someone pays early and there's different people clocked in now than what are going to be working that event. I just I make a note of it, put it on a sticky note. When I run payroll, I make the manual adjustment when I go through it. It's a pain in the ass, but
Yeah, I mean these.
there's no other way to do it that I'm aware of. Um, and it doesn't sound like it happens all the time. Try to make sure everybody gets what they're supposed to get.
Yeah, I mean fair and equitable. Just got to make sure it's all everybody understands how the process works. I had to after that weekend, I had to institute a dress code. So everybody's got at least one T-shirt logo on it, whatever, at least one. One of my people showed up to a catering gig that we were actually serving and looked like she had just got done working out.
All right.
I don't care if the gals wear leggings or whatever, that's fine. But like a half shirt or belly shirt or
Sports
something like
bra.
that. I mean, and she was just on time, so I didn't really have much to say. Luckily, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's like after that, this is what we got to do. And then, so we've had, And I think going to the new place, I'm going to really work on, lack of better words, a handbook, standards and practices for employees. Like I haven't been as on top of it as I should be, and as an owner of a business, everything falls on you anyway, no matter what. Anyway, so back to catering. So we've probably done, after this past weekend and what's coming up in the next 2 days, over 1,000 people. And
It's awesome.
yeah, and it's we actually have our last catering gig on the books for like the 25th of October. And that's the last outstanding invoice. I have I have one on
For
my
the year.
yeah,
Do you have some for next year
I've got like three
already?
weddings booked for next year already. We have a lot of inquiries. My One of my employees, my morning guy, actually was friends with a new wedding venue, and he's like, "Hey, I want to go set up there. I think it's a good idea that she's inviting me because we can be the only caterer that's there." I said, "Okay, if you want to do it, it's on you." And I said that any catering that's booked, I'll give you a bonus, like because we offered like 10% because it was a new venue. I said, so everyone that's booked, and we've probably had like 8 emails off of that. And he gave menus out
Awesome.
and did samples, stuff like that. Today's like my follow up day on that stuff. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's been really good.
Awesome. Yeah, we have 8 invoices out right now, and like you, I mean, we're quoting like crazy. I'm expecting some of those to come back positively this week, and I think we did a few more tastings this week. People stopping by. Yeah. We got one that we're doing. We had a couple December catering now, so those are starting to pop through. Someone local to Hudsonville. There's one big barbecue place in Holland, Hog Wild. I don't think that's right.
It's not holy
They've got
smoke.
like they got like 1,000 catering vans that they run out all over the place. So they've used them. She doesn't like them, and then she tried Holy Smokers and was not a fan. But she did not want to name names.
I
So
understand.
yeah, which was very good on her. I just asked. I said, because she gave the location, like, it's not Holy Smokers by chance. She's like, yeah, it is. He's a good friend of ours. I said, there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So hopefully she likes us and she just doesn't like barbecue. Maybe that's the case. Maybe she just doesn't like barbecue.
Well,
But
yeah, and that's what I get is a lot of, because we use a pellet cooker. I mean,
mhm.
I've talked to a lot of people at the restaurant because I'll always ask, how's everything? Everything good? I'll be that waitress that comes up, when you got a mouthful of food, how's everything? But I think a lot of people, when they go to a barbecue place, they expect to taste the smoke, that bitterness that I hate to say a lot of places have.
So wow, who let the dogs out?
We have doing some furnace work. Yay.
All right,
Anyway,
yeah. All right,
so
we got some questions. We have some topics.
yeah, questions.
We're cutting it short today at 10 o'clock. Everybody, I have a date with my dad, so
Looks like you're going
we got to
home.
be done. Got to be done at 10 o'clock. So I have a 10:45 tea time on the other side of town. Had to play early because I have to get back to do meat for tonight. I have a small window of opportunity. So to get through these questions, I want to keep us moving along. Jason says, do you both run diesel trucks? Truck shopping today and looking at new 250 and 350s with 7.3 gas. Been hearing great things about them. Yes, we both run diesels.
Yes.
I have a Chevy Silverado 2500 that's a 2011 with 280,000 miles on it. Outside of the DEF issues that I have, which at that point, it's all sensors and things going wonky with that. It's a great truck. I've had to do little work myself on it. Fuel filters are every, I don't know, once a year. I replace that on there, which is I can do myself. Other than that, I've replaced the blower fan for the heating, which was easy. But I haven't had to put a whole lot of work into that truck outside of the DEF system. So, and my guy, the mechanic says, as soon as he crossed the warranty on his new diesel, he said he deleted it, and he has had not a problem since. So, um, at this point, for me, it's just we're at the point where we're replacing it next spring. So I'm not going to put the money into deleting it. It works. It's sufficient. We'll run it into the ground at this point. Yeah, the engine's going to run longer than the body of the truck is.
Yeah, I have a 2019 F-250 with, sounds horrible now, 100,000 less miles than he had than Josh has, but I use it all the time. We've taken many big trips with it.
My
The,
truck only is towing, pretty
yeah,
much.
no, I use it for absolutely everything. I bought it with I think 56,000 miles on it 4 years ago, so I put a lot of miles on it. But I bought a diesel mainly because of towing and also because of the longevity of a diesel engine. As long as you keep up with it, and I'm notorious for forgetting the oil change and my light coming on and telling me it's required.
Mm-hmm.
But the upkeep on a diesel typically is more expensive. I mean, my oil change is probably, I don't do it myself, so it's I think $225. Typically like 13 quarts of oil.
Yeah.
Uh, but if you take care of it, the good thing about the new diesel engines, yeah, it's a $10,000 upgrade from what I've seen to go from a gas to a diesel, but it'll outlast you.
So if you are not looking for all the bells and whistles, I know because I've been looking at this, and this is what we're going to do. We're just getting a base Chevy work truck. So they have a work line. They're basic work trucks. They have the infotainment screen. They still have all the power windows and seats and everything. Just not all you don't get the 360 camera view
Yeah.
and blah, 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 all the other stuff that you don't really need. But that out the door is like 54. It's not bad for a diesel. I have pulled my trailer with a Dodge 2500 before. It does it. But you can definitely tell the difference in torque and a capability between the gas and diesel. With my truck, when it's running well, you don't really notice the trailer there. So, and that could have just been because it was a Dodge, but
So
I would.
I just looked up in my area a 2025 Ford Super Duty F350 XL. The
Mhm.
main difference between a 250 and a 350 is payload. It's a little bit more rigid suspension, but this is an XL diesel 10-speed automatic. And that's the thing is the newer ones all have 10-speed transmissions. They will make your fuel economy a little bit better. I have a 6-speed. Anyway, out the door it's 64,000. But Ford's always more expensive than everything else. But yeah, try it out.
Justin says he's got a 350 with 270,000 miles on it. Said functionality speaking, it's great. Just don't like how old he's got a 2001. Just want something a little more modern. And there you go. I mean, these trucks will last. If you take care of them, they will last forever. And then moving on to the whole invoice thing, Justin said they started a no fees thing on the catering side. We've been booking because they said others had a lot of service fees. And we don't either. We have everything's included in our pricing, including tax. So it's an all-inclusive price. We even include basic disposable plates and silver always. And even if they say they don't want them, we still bring them just in case.
Yeah, I gotta start.
And we've had people ask if there's a discount if they don't use our plates and forks. I said, nope, it's all included. This is the price. It is what it is. When we've been told the same thing, that we have the simplest pricing structure and easiest way to order because it's all a la carte. There's no minimums. You don't have to have a $20 per plate minimum. If you want one meat, one side, if you just want sides, we're there for you, bud. We did a wedding on this last Saturday. We did a wedding of 30 people and a birthday party for 14. Heck yeah. You know,
Absolutely.
$1,000 between the two of them for what took an hour to drop the two off. And Chris did it on his way home.
That
So,
sounds good.
yeah, I mean, yeah, so I'm with you there. And Justin says they don't ask or put anything about tipping on catering invoices. And ours is just the same way it is on any other